Now in this video we will see the geometric mean. In the previous video we have seen the arithmetic mean. So basically what is the geometric mean? It is, you can say that it is the positive nth root of positive n values. Like here, nth root of the positive n values x1, x2 up to so on to xn. Okay, but in this formula there is some problem, like x cannot be negative. If x becomes negative and you take its nth root in calculator, math error occurs, right? Because this is not possible inside the root. So in that case we have to get some other formula to accommodate this problem. To get rid of this, we have the other formula. We are just discussing in case of ungrouped data for now. So this is basically when you don't have any negative value, when you are not dealing with a grouped data, when all your data values are positive and your nth root is positive, then you can take this also. But the other, or the, you can say, more efficient formula is over here. That is, geometric means equal anti-log of 1 by n. N means total number of values in your data, and sum of log of x. This if from 1 to n means that you have to take the sum of all the values from 1 to the very last value. You have to take sum of all the values, but first you have to perform this particular step. Your x will be your data values. Of course you have to take log of all, each and every data value, and then take sum of all those data values, then divide that particular sum with total number of values. Some constant will come, or some floating point integer will come, and then take its anti-log from your calculator. Okay, so but in case of grouped distribution it is same, but a pretty much difference or small difference is that here you can see I am using this f. The other formula is same, but you have to multiply it with f. And why f? Because we are dealing with grouped data, where the classes are given, where the frequency is there, right? So the execution will be from where? From this, from, you can say, right to left. Firstly you have to take the log of x, log of all the data values. But see, this is the grouped data, which means that you won't be given direct x, but you will be given these classes over here. So you cannot decide whether to take this 0 or 10, right? So in that problem we take the midpoint always. 0 plus 10 divided by 2 gives us 5. Similarly 10 plus 20 divided by 2 gives us 15, just like this. Okay, so these are the x's. Here the x is midpoints because of grouped data, and here the x is the direct data value because of ungrouped data. We take the log of all the data values. Like here you can see I'm taking log of all the values, then multiply it with f, that is their respective frequency. This is the frequency of this, this is the frequency of this, so this is that column. Okay, and then take its sum, take sum of all these values, then divide it by the total number of values, and then take its anti-log. So let's see this example. You can see here these are our class limits. The frequency, that is 4 numbers fall from 0 to 10, and like this. This is the midpoint of this class, and if you take this log x, this x is the midpoint. Okay, log of 5 is 0.69, and then f into log x. This sf will be what? This f will not be the, you can say, the total number of frequencies in the class or total number of values in the class, but it will be this f of that particular class. We are in this class right now, so we'll take this frequency, multiply it with this log x, it gives us this. And similarly we are given that 8 data values fall in this class, so we have to find its midpoint, right? This is the midpoint, and then we have to take log of the midpoint because that is the formula. So if we multiply log x, log with the, take the log of x, we get this, and then f into log x gives us this, right? And similar for the other data. And then we have to take what? We have to take sum of f log x from the formula, right? So take the sum and take the, you can say, addition of all these data values, that is f log x. This will give us the sum of f log x, that is 46.81. So you can see that here the formula was what? It was sum of f log x divided by total number of values. So sum is what? It is 46.81. Total number of values are 35. First divide these two things and then multiply it with, or you can say take the anti-log, and this is here. Okay, so I hope you have gotten the concept of geometric mean, that you have to remember this formula and the sequence of execution. So one important thing you must know is the we will study this harmonic mean and the other mean also, but first I'm just telling you that when to use which mean, because we have 4 types of mean: arithmetic, geometric, harmonic, quadratic, right? But we have to use the harmonic mean if we are told, if you can say there are some speed problems given, right? Because they may say you that just find the average of this thing. Average does not always mean that you have to take the mean of that, or you can say that you have to take the arithmetic mean. Okay, the average can be this. These all are averages: harmonic mean, geometric mean, and quadratic mean, right? So if the speeds are given, the harmonic mean is best for that. Okay, if anything related to the percentage type problems or ratios, index, growth rates, these things are given, that you have to take the geometric mean. And if some physical science, right, like voltage and watts and these things of type of things are given in the problem, then you go for the quadratic mean. Okay, you must know this thing, this is very important. So now let's come to the actual point, that is the quadratic mean. Quadratic mean is also called as the root square mean. Okay, we represent the quadratic mean with XRMS. This means root mean square or root square mean. Okay, so for this, first remember the formula of simple mean, that is arithmetic mean. Okay, arithmetic mean was what? Sum of values over total number of values, right? But here we do what? We take the root. This is that root, and then we take the square of the data values. Here you can see x was not squared, but here the x is squared. After squaring all the x's, we take their sum. Remember one thing, this square is just on x, not on the complete. Okay, you don't need to take the square of the sum, right? You have to take sum of you can say you have to take the square of each data value and then take the sum and then divide it by the total number of values and its, you can say, square root. Okay, this is the formula for the quadratic mean. So suppose we are given with these data values, so we have to do first what? We have to take the square of each value before taking the sum. This is important. So I am taking the square of each data value. Because of this square, the value becomes positive, and then divided by 3, because my n is 3 over here. So 77 by 3 gives me a 5.06. This is the quadratic mean. And lastly, we have the harmonic mean. If you have seen the lecture for the arithmetic mean, that this one is very simple. Same strategy as the arithmetic mean, but one difference you have to remember is that this is harmonic mean is what? It is the reciprocal of the mean of the reciprocal of given values. Quite confusing, right? So see the steps, these are very easy. First of all, you have to do what? You have to take the reciprocal of the given value. Suppose we are given x, right? This is our data value. So we have to do what? We have to first take the reciprocal of the given values. That is, step number 1 is reciprocate the given values. Like if you are given n number of values, you have to do 1 by x1, 1 by x2. This is the reciprocal of your values. Step number 2 is find the mean of those reciprocate values and not of the original values. Okay, this is right over here. You know the formula for the mean or the arithmetic mean, that was sum of values by total number of values. But here you cannot write x in like that arithmetic mean. Here you have to take the reciprocal of the values, then take its arithmetic mean, right? This is very important. And in step number 3, you have to do what? You have to again take the reciprocal of the mean that you have just found, right? Suppose you solve this particular problem and this particular formula, and you get what? You get suppose 5, right? So here we will do what? We will say 1 by 5. This is our harmonic mean, right? First reciproc all the data values, then take the you can say take the mean of the reciprocal of the values, and then take the inverse, so you can say take the reciprocal of your mean. Okay, that's the formula. So here you can see for the grouped ungrouped data the formula is same just like here, but as usual for the grouped data we will introduce frequency, right? This sigma f or n, they both mean the same, but here you can see I am doing sigma f by x, not simply 1 by x but f by x, right? Because we know that we have to multiply with f first, or you can say you can read it as f into 1 by x, or you can read it as f by x. Simply you have to, you can say, multiply the frequency with the reciprocal data values. Frequency is getting multiplied with the reciprocal values, and then take the sum of all those values, and then you can do this. You can say sigma f by x. You just have to remember these upper 3 steps, and then in case of grouped data you just need to introduce this f over here, multiply this 1 by x with f because of the grouped data, or you can say those frequency distributions. So and one thing also, here in this ungrouped data this x is the exact data value, but in grouped data this x is the midpoint, right? As we have seen in the you can say the geometric mean also, that we are given the classes and not the exact data value, right? So for that we just take the you can say midpoints of all the values. Okay, so that's just like this. So I hope you have gotten these things. So thank you.